All right. Well, let's get started. Thank you guys for joining, being on time. I appreciate it. We're recording this so we can send it out to folks that can't make it or share it or rewatch it if you so desire. Just a couple things as usual. Look, I just there's no, not necessarily a smoking gun when it comes to listings, but Jeremy and I talked quite a bit, and we know that they continue to be the, the eluding factor in our market today. And if you have a listing, it's gone. We have buyers looking for listings, so just kind of made sense to sort of have this in January to line ourselves up for the year. But also, definitely a roundtable discussion here. I got a list of things that either I use personally or have just thought about as far as potentially getting listings. So definitely going to want to hear from you guys, good, bad, ugly, things that have been successful for you, and certainly if there's sort of nothing on the list. To sort of get your thoughts or your ideas on what you've tried or what works for you guys. So otherwise, I think I'm gonna just I have just one slide, and I'm just gonna kind of go through my ideas, but definitely just a couple things. Certainly share any thoughts on any of the topics, but we have some. I know we have some newer agents on the call, and it doesn't matter if you're new or experienced. If there's something that I mention or that we talk about that you would like more information on, please let me know. Throw it in chat, just unmute yourself, because we certainly have videos. We can do another session on, any tool that we wanted to. So, so just some thoughts on that. So I'm going to just start with, we're talking about listings. I just finished my first Achieve class, and we had a great group. It was really, really good. But we talked a lot about the listing presentation, and quite frankly, it does not matter if you are a new agent or if you've been doing this for 20 years, you need a listing presentation. So there is a listing presentation in Leverage. You see my slide there. It's got similar colors. There's a lot of information in there for you to share, for you to value prop yourself. It's easily customizable for you just to throw in the the company logo, your name and phone number, maybe a page of your personal information. So certainly, there are certainly ways for you to create your own, from, I don't care how you do it, but having that listing presentation is crucial. So and I'm not, you don't have to necessarily say anything, John, but we have John DeCurtains on the call, and he's literally one of our top agents in the whole company, and he just designed and spent a bunch of money on his listing presentation. So there's no one that should just think, oh, I got this, try to wing it when you even get a shot at a listing. So a couple things. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of agents in our market. Every single person that's going to go list a house knows more than one agent. So we kind of we have to take it serious. We have to be prepared. We have to have our talk track, our value prop ready to go. No matter who says, hey, I'm thinking about listing, because we literally could have one shot, at sort of getting them to work with us. So I'll pause for just a second. Any thoughts on the listing presentation? Anybody, want to add a little 2 cents to that, or have any thoughts on it? Please just throw in chat or unmute yourself at any time during this call. Okay. All right. I hope you're not too quiet all throughout the call. So first thought, in some of these are, you've heard of or talked about or thought of, Maybe some you haven't, but I kind of just listed them all, and we'll nibble at each one so we can get through all of them. But again, please, add any thoughts that you have on any of the topics. So expireds. I know that naturally there are not a lot of expireds. In today's market, we got houses going multiple offers in 24 hours. But no, there are expireds in the market, period. We know they are. It's kind of curious when I see an expired in the market today, naturally you go like, why did that not sell? Like what, everything else is selling in 24 hours. Why did that one not sell? Just know there's always an opportunity for us to sort of figure that out and maybe help those folks. I mentioned earlier, we have a ton of agents in the market. A lot of agents aren't working too professionally. Horrible pictures. I literally see $300,000 listings and they have like 8 pictures taken with their cell phone. So just know there are, if it expired, maybe the seller didn't get the right advice on price. Maybe the agent just didn't do a good job. So not every expired listing is like taboo, or like, I'm not touching that one, so just know there are options there for potential listings. I mean, obviously we know expireds, they want to sell. So that's kind of there's not much objection other than they are likely really grumpy with real estate agents in general. So you kind of have to realize that. So you're not coming in like hard and fast there. You're kind of figuring out, kind of hitting their pain point as to why their home didn't sell. And then potentially leading into how maybe you can, do a better job or get it sold for them. So that's expired. And then one other thing, go back a while, go back a year in the MLS and pull expireds. So, I see every day on the agent hub or on Facebook, agents are just, they have a list of houses that they're looking for buyers. Go in the MLS and run a search as, for expireds back a year. Do a little homework and just see if there's a listing out there that expired. They said, oh, we're going to keep, like they listed for a reason. So, it's worth a reach out to see, if there's still any interest there, especially, if you can take a buyer right to the house. So just some thoughts on expired. So I'm going to pause 2 seconds here and just sort of see if you guys have any thoughts on expired, any stories that are positive that you want to share with the group. So I'm going to pause for 2 seconds and let you unmute yourself or throw something in chat. Okay, so that's expired. So now let's go for sale by owner. So obviously probably the second, not a huge surprise when we talk about listings, expireds and for sale by owners, but just know, for sale by owners, boy, they did that for a reason. They, of course, they want to sell. They do for sale by owner because they want to save the real estate, the agent commission, of course. But we do know that there are still a lot of for sale by owners, in the high 60 to low 70% that list their property. So just know that's always an option. Kind of the same thing with the list that an agent has. I need these homes for my buyers. I got a list of buyers. I can't find a home. For sale by owners are like, a perfect opportunity, for you to find a listing for a buyer. But, also the fact that those folks, probably need some help or probably will need some help because they, they may get, and I say lucky because it's really what it would be. I mean, they got lucky, the market's crazy, but, for sale by owners continue to be, just an option for, for us to get a listing. So I'm going to pause here.
Wayne, can I interrupt you?
Absolutely. Please, John.
One of the great things about FSBOs is they're also buyers. So if you go knock on their door and they tell you to kick rocks, you ask them who the representation is on where they're going to go, and chances are you can pick up a buyer.
Yeah, awesome. So I love it. You know, so Rob said is there's always a you know, a second part to you know, to asking for a listing or talking to an expired or for sale by owner, or really anybody that we mentioned through here. You know, is there's always an opportunity to you know, to say, hey, you know, where are you moving? You know, in Achieve, a few agents had said, you know, when they talked about for sale by owners, like, hey, where are you moving? Do you have an agent for the house you're moving to? So yeah, exactly, Rob. So I appreciate that. Hey, John, I don't have everybody muted. So, and I see you're unmuted. So I'm not sure what your.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can.
Whoa. Okay. Back to expireds.
Oh, perfect. I knew you had. I knew you would have had something to add to that. So.
Yeah. So you've mentioned my listing presentation. So I just spent a bunch of money. We're talking like $1,500 to meet with a graphic designer to help me, you know, make it look pretty fancy. And I'll make it available to people, but I got to come up with maybe like a little fee to help me recoup some of that.
Sure.
Because it is ERA specific. But I need a system. If anybody has, I hear, you know, Robbie P out there, a system of how to, or a checklist of how to reach out to expireds and FSBOs. What are the 10 steps all of us agents should be doing to reach out to an expired or a FSBO? You know, off the top of my head, send them a bio about me. Send them a couple of my thoughts on why their home didn't sell. Like Robbie P said, you know, do you have plans to purchase another home? Where are you looking? And that could just be a sheet of paper that with your letterhead on it, right? So does anybody else have any ideas on like what are 10 things that we could, or 6 letters that we could send them? Or a 10-step checklist. Maybe it's a phone call. Maybe it's look up their email, you know, on a church or a neighborhood directory. But there's several ways that we can research these people. But I don't have a checklist. Is there a checklist out there?
Yeah, I love it. And I made a note. So I'd love to either do some research, find one, grab some agents and, you know, create one. Justin Solly in our Cincy office was in the Achieve class, and he sent me an expired listing. Well, it was almost a checklist, but it was really like the questions you ask the expired, or things that you're looking at as to why the home expired. So I will definitely send that out so everyone can kind of take a peek at it. And we can start talking. But I love the idea of sort of having a process in place. So, you know, if the, you know, because I agree, like there's an expired in today, I'm going to be like, hey, I'm going to call the person, you know, and I see an expired, you know, then 3 days from now, I see an expired. I'm like, oh, gee, what should I do? You know, should I send a letter? You know, so maybe we could easily create a checklist of, you know, just to get folks started, and it can be, you know, tweaked for agents. So I love the idea.
Hey, Wayne, I had a question for John, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Go, Dennis.
So, John, you spent $1,500 and it's graphic designed and all jazzed up. Are you delivering that electronically, or are you printing it out and having a lead behind?
I'm going to do both. I am going to purchase a machine. Shoot, I forget what it's called. We already purchased one machine, and it's like a binding machine. Oh, it's thermal. It's a thermal binding machine. And I just thought that looked the classiest. So anytime I have a listing presentation, an appointment, I am definitely going to deliver. I'm going to try to have it delivered, at least a day or two prior to the listing appointment. And then I'm still trying to figure out what my checklist is for these FSBOs and expireds, because that could get costly. So do I want to mail individual pieces, or do I just want to send one pamphlet? Does it need to be thermal bound, or can something be mailed, or, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
But my listing presentations, I'm absolutely delivering, whether I know the people or not, because I've lost out on listings where I thought 100% chance, I was going to get the listing. It was a good friend, or a pretty good acquaintance, and I still lost the listing. It's rare, but it does happen. And that is costly, because it can be anywhere from, 5 to 10 grand, right? When you lose out on somebody you thought you should have had. And that's worth all of the printing that I'm going to do in the next 5 years. So you might as well give it to somebody, because you never know when they're going to give it to somebody else, or you're going to lose it.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, Wayne, I'm a big believer of, taking a printed listing presentation and leaving it behind. I can't tell you how many listing appointments I've been on where the sellers have said, the other person didn't give them that information, didn't leave that information behind. So it's just nice for them to be able to see your name, your company, sitting on their coffee table while they're debating what they want to do.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, guys. Yeah. And I'll just stress again, like, John admitting, that, he has lost a listing, just tells me over and over that none of us can, I don't care where we are in our business, can just, show up at a listing and just have some papers randomly. So, and just because, John spent $1,500, what we need until, if you're not ready for that, what we need is in the ERA listing presentation. Everything we need is there. So, we just need to, download it, customize it, and then learn it, and then know it and practice it. And that's really all we need. And then obviously if we're, if we get to the point where we want to, get it fancier and create more, then there's that option. So awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. So my next one, I clicked the button. So listing to leads, just another option to gather up, seller leads. Actually works, ends up working for buyers as well. But listing to leads, I have an email with 7 videos directly. So we had Vince on a call from listing to leads. We've been with listing to leads. I think maybe one of their first clients. So we kind of have them, available to us. But just an awesome option. It's really based on, Facebook, social, posting ads on one of your listings. Huge advantage of listing to leads is if you don't have a listing, you can actually borrow one from anyone in the MLS. They have a system set up where you can just go grab a listing, spend, $50 or, whatever. It's not like we're talking thousands in an effort to gather leads. So, so again, just one more option. So I'll stop for just a second. Anybody have any experience with listing to leads that they want to share? Oh, hey, John, I can't hear you now.
Okay, let's give it a second.
There you go.
Okay, maybe it just takes a second.
Yeah,
I used it in December, first week of December on one of my listings, actually 2 of my listings. One listing gave me 35 leads. Another listing gave me 4. The second listing was overpriced and ugly. The first one, and I didn't boost either. The seller on the first one did a really good job of pushing it on social media, and then they had several friends share it. I did upload everybody into Zap, or Peter did. And I have 2 buyers. I haven't connected with them, but they are popping up on my email reminder from Zap once a week. So I don't have their phone number. So if somebody can figure out, Robbie P, that would be you. Somebody can figure out how we can get their phone numbers from listings to leads, that would be great.
There's a setting in listings to leads where you can tell it that you want to force registration with the phone number, and it works about half the time.
Okay.
So I'll screenshot and drop it in the chat. Give me a minute.
Awesome.
Oh, awesome, love it. So basically, you get all the leads, but if it's a forced registration, we get like half the phone numbers. Is that correct, Rob? Or the thoughts?
Yeah. So what listings to leads does is just scrapes the information from their social media profile. So if they have their phone number in there, which some people do and some people don't, you can get it from there. But you have to tell listings to leads that you want both emails and phone numbers.
Okay. Awesome. And just to recap, like if anyone's on the call and is like listening to leads, what's that? Never heard of it. I want to learn more. Definitely unmute yourself. Just email me directly. Happy to work on it and get us some information, do another session, kind of whatever we need. All right, as we keep going here, so HomeSnap, another option. So just a couple things with HomeSnap, but I know John has used HomeSnap as well. I'm sure we'll unmute or unmute yourself and let me know if you have. But HomeSnap, just a couple options. You can do Facebook ads. As far as that goes, share listings, share listings for sale, to gather up information to value prop yourself. There are also, if you have, you can actually get some with HomeSnap Plus, but if you have HomeSnap Plus Pro, you can scan a map of just of your area. And it will, they haven't, obviously have an algorithm, have artificial intelligence that, sort of tries to rate who might be selling. So similar to other websites. So you can kind of pull up, a zip code and see, the likelihood of folks potentially listing in the next year. So again, just some options for you to have to scroll around, do a little homework, find their information, go to RPR, find their information, Google, something like Spokio, where you can, kind of find, have a name and an address and find someone's phone number or true home address. So, again, just options for finding folks that are potentially looking to sell. Again, usually they say in the next year.
Hey, Wayne, can you hear me? This is Julia.
Yeah. Hey, Julia.
Hey, so I do use HomeSnap, and I run the ads on Facebook. It usually will automatically set them up after you sell a property. If you're, connected to the, what is it, the advanced or what's the one that we have?
I think
The Pro.
Yeah.
And I think I've probably gotten about 45 or 50 people that have responded. Now, some of them are, with the email of my email at email.com. But there are several that have panned out. I'm still working with 2 or 3 of them that I've gotten in the last year. So I definitely think it was worth, upgrading to the Pro to get those emails and that kind of thing. And you can choose whether you want to run the ad or you don't want to run the ad. And I think I run a Facebook ad and it was like $35 an ad. And I probably got, 20 or 30 people that responded. And like I said, probably about 15 of them are worthwhile. So just depends, but just as a plug for HomeSnap Pro.
No, I love it. So basically, 30 or, let's say $40 and you get, let's say 15 leads, you're at two, a little over $2 a lead. So, when we talk about, buying leads here or buying leads there, you can spend a lot of money on a lead. And if it, just a generic internet lead. So, I think both listing to leads and HomeSnap sort of offer the opportunity, like John, he got, 40 leads on one post and 4 on the next or whatever. So, it's never a guarantee, but, we're also not talking about spending, $300. We're talking about under 100 and test it and see. And and just real quick, going back to listing to leads, they pride themselves on So Vince there it's like a 3-step process. So once you get in there and kind of know what you're doing, like in 3 clicks, you can have an ad on Facebook for a listing, and then start gathering. So it's not hard. We're super happy to kind of help you do that. But same thing with HomeSnap. I'm sure, once you do it once, the next time you go do it, going to be pretty simple to just, a few clicks and get something posted. So the next one, how simple is your sphere of influence? But if you're not working them, pretty crazy if you're not working your sphere, for, obviously, if they're willing or needing to do something, or, but obviously for referrals as well. So, find a way to work your sphere, your past clients. Use the Client for Life program, the buyer seller follow-up, do it for the 7 years, pay the $22. Just because that's just, find ways to stay in touch with these folks. So emails, texts, do mass texting, set up listing alerts, do home value updates. That's an option in Zap. I use HomeBot for some home value update information and getting them some data on the value of their home and options for refinancing. So, HomeBot's an option, but your sphere has, they know you. They should be the least amount of effort, but they have to remember you. They have to remember you sell real estate, that you're still in real estate, and that you have time to help them, or a friend or family member of theirs. So, just super, super important that we don't forget this sphere. And just, reaching out to the sphere, the family, the friends. How do I do it? What do I, we're not reaching out to really anybody in our sphere and saying, are you ready to buy or sell? Are you looking to buy or sell? We're not sort of begging them for business. Share some information, share some good news. I have a great, had a great 2020. I just joined and I just got into real estate, just whatever, to sort of have them trigger like, oh, that's right, Wayne's in real estate. That's the ultimate goal. Oh, that's right, Wayne's in real estate. And I can't do that. I just can't do that once a year. I cannot do that once every 2 years and expect them to remember me. So, just there are ways that we can get folks to remember us, and think of us, and we should expect them to use us, but they just need to hear about us. So next one, sort of mixing in a little bit of everything. So I'm going to just throw out social. So, just, do a poll on social media, share some good news. So I'm on Inman, just some of the major websites, in news, real estate news blogs and things. In more and more of them are sort of, saying, put a poll out that just simply says, are you planning to buy or sell in the next year? Are you planning on selling your home in the next year? Just something like that, just kind of throw it out there. It's wide open. You can just do it to your group. You can boost it as an ad, something like that. Again, just something to throw it out there. People, will answer yes or no easier than, anything they'll do, and they will answer yes or no. So just an option for potentially, grabbing somebody that's saying yes. Hey, I didn't know, why are you thinking about, and then it just opens up that dialogue. Go Facebook Live in your neighborhood, in a neighborhood sometime. I know Facebook Live is, or just some sort of live, the more local we are, the better. So if I'm ever at an open house or going to be listing something in a neighborhood, or, I'm working a neighborhood, I really want them to know that I'm involved in that neighborhood. So anytime I can post locally, is so crucial. All right, let me check chat. And again, please, John, Moody mentioned HomeSnap Pro Plus cost. So I think they throw it out there as $5.99. I know last year I joined, I think John and Julia, there were quite a few of us that joined, and it was only $99. So definitely sort of check that out, John. I'm not sure, John, what your thoughts are. I don't think I would pay, I don't think I'd pay $600 for HomeSnap Pro Plus. But when they offered it for $99, I thought, pretty cool. They took control of our Google, sort of bettered our Google account, get us recognized more often. So it's definitely for me worth the $99. So definitely check that out and see if they're still offering some sort of discount. So next one, farming prospecting. So we kind of all, this is probably real estate 101 when we really were getting licensed or still or new. Everyone says, hey, grab a neighborhood. So it's still the same thing. You can farm a neighborhood, keep it a smaller number because we really need to hit them. More often if they don't know us. So typically if I just reach out to, a neighborhood that doesn't know us, I'm going to need 10 or 11 touch points for them to sort of get to know me and remember me. So sort of just pick a certain, a close community, something you really want to work, zip code, school district, price point, whatever, subdivision, and hit them hard with a series of touch points. But again, two things, if we're going to reach out to folks that we don't know, I better be a local expert. So I better know stats of that neighborhood. I better share them so that they actually look at the piece of mail that I sent if I did that, or if I call, or if I'm posting something on social. Stats. Did you know? I love did you know? Did you know your home or the homes in your neighborhood have increased, this much? Or did you know that the last 4 homes that were listed in your neighborhood sold in 24 hours? Whatever we can share with them. They may not know. They may have heard the market's crazy, but maybe they don't know the home value potentially went up 20%, based on other homes that are sold in that, similar to theirs. So just kind of realize that that's an awesome piece. In the second piece, so stats being an expert, the second piece, I'm going to go back to being local. So you have to be local. You have to, they have to feel that that you're connected to where they live. I can't just go to a random place and act like I know what's happening. I know the downtown area. I really need to feel that and know it, and then express that to potential clients. So any thoughts on, I'm going to just pause for just a second. I just want to see if there's any thoughts on anything we've talked about to this point on the last 3 SOIs, social or farming prospecting. Anybody want to add anything before we move on? All right. So Zillow, as much as we're taught to hate that word, they have a make me move. So, essentially there are folks that sort of the same thing. I can actually go on there and post some things. I can do a for sale by owner on Zillow, similar to FSBO.com, for sale by owner.com, all those. But there is potentially some information in Zillow of sellers or homeowners that are looking to sell, that may need to sell financially. So definitely just some options. I don't know if you've never really logged on to Zillow and sort of looked at it, from a buyer's point of view. There is some good information in there that again, it's an analytic. I reach out to someone and say, hey, are you thinking about selling? And they're like, no. We never know, but definitely just an option for us to sort of check it out. And see if there's something, especially really for any of the expired, the for sale by owner, the HomeSnap tools, using listing to leads to get another listing. If I need if I have buyers in, in Anderson and I can't find a house, then I'm going to find a house for them. So I'm going to farm, I'm going to prospect, I'm going to knock on doors, I'm going to get on Zillow, and just see if, see if I can get any data for someone that is even considering selling, and then potentially, bring in the buyer to it. But again, we're just talking ways to potentially get listings. So seller security plan, one of the ERA tools. So if you've never heard of it, basically we can secure, a seller, their home will sell, using the seller security plan. So if the home qualifies, and there's an extensive process, but once we get that down, if their home qualifies, their home will sell, period. So it's almost like you could walk in and go, hey, I'll sell your home, or ERA will buy it. That's the tagline. So, there's some things behind it. So a couple of, things that you get out of it is, of course the home will, sell for, whatever. There's a percentage of the appraised value. You wouldn't think that it's attractive to a seller. But the fact is everything you're doing to get the home ready, to qualify for the seller security plan, makes the home so saleable that ERA has only bought one house, and ERA has had seller security plan, for almost 30 years. So it's not like it's new. It's not like they just came up with it, and they've only bought one house in all of that time. So really the idea is what I'm going to, it's a plan I'll offer you, but really what I'm going to do to get your home ready before we list it or as we're listing it, is it's going to be so saleable that it's going to sell. So we're not going to, we're really not going to get to the point where, we're going to be talking about ERA buying it. So, the staging, the pricing, just everything, the marketing that you do, everything that you're doing with seller security plan, get the home sold. A second piece of seller security plan is that, there's a builder's piece. There's just a standard seller piece. There's a builder's piece. And then there's a senior living piece. So if I want to build a house, but I need to sell mine, or if I want to move into a retirement community or need to, but I need to sell my house, you have the option of going in and saying, hey, look, let's see if the house qualifies for seller security plan. And you can start building that house, because this house will be sold in 90 days, whether I sell it or ERA buys it. Same thing with the retirement community. You go in and go, hey, look, these folks can take that place. This house will be sold, plain and simple, within 90 days or whatever the time frame is. So a couple different options with that seller security plan. Besides the fact it's almost like a notch on the resume belt, to say that you took extra training, that you're definitely something you can chat about, even if it, no, we're not interested in that. But you've really value propped yourself when you're talking, the language that you learned in how to talk to a seller in that seller security plan. And then you get a buyer or you get a builder that you can, sort of team up with, because you have this option. Set an appointment with the folks that fill the retirement communities, the nursing homes, make an appointment with the folks that fill them and become their preferred realtor, because you have this option. Again, house may never need to even do it. You may not, need to do it or want to do it. But having those folks, having that lead option come to you, because you have the seller security plan and are qualified to use it, just a good option.
No, not until you press video.
So I'm gonna just pause for a second. Do you guys, anybody have any questions or thoughts on seller security plan? I mean, that's kind of a big one. It's a big ERA tool. You have to, it's really not hard to get. You just got to kind of take the course, pass the test. There is information in it that is important. We don't just throw out homes and put them in social security plan because nobody wants to buy someone's home. We're not Zillow. So, but I'm going to pause for just a second and just see if anybody has any thoughts on seller security, or if they are or have been, qualified in it.
Wayne, can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes, I can, John.
Okay. I just said to Julie and Amber here, I think it's a no-brainer. It's a very simple way to capture seller leads, but so what I'm thinking of doing is maybe boosting some ads. But the process is a little bit more complicated, and one that I'm not sure that I want to invest the time in for whatever reason. Meaning, if I create a listings to leads seller ad, and then I got to go figure out how to boost it and post it, and then all the leads go to listings to leads. I will tell you this, Wayne, if you can look into the listings to leads are not going straight to our Zap right now.
Okay.
That would be awesome if they were. But it's a lot of work after, and it's a system that even I don't have. So again, it goes back to what is that checklist for expireds, FSBOs, social leads? What are the next 10 steps that we're going to do? But it's something that I want to do. And as I'm looking at my numbers, I had 2 FSBO closings last year, 0 expireds. So there's definitely a market that I can tap into. I just don't have that system.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'm gonna do some homework. I'll definitely look at listing deletes. I'll talk to Vince there, and but love it, and yeah, I like the idea of whether it's a checklist or next steps or to dos, whatever we call it, to just work leads in general. So awesome. All right, so referrals. So, Rob mentioned this, quickly earlier when we were talking about expireds and then FSBOs, and, no, I'm gonna sell this house myself, or the expired, isn't ready. There's always an option. I don't care who we're talking to. There's always an option to ask them, hey, okay, you want to sell your house yourself, but where are you moving? Do you have an agent there? Because, you're going to look for sale by owners and you're only going to buy a for sale by owner house. No, they're going to want an agent where they're moving. So obviously we have, a global network with ERA for referrals. So it's not just, just you getting the business. It's us asking our clients or our customers, our sphere, any lead we come across, hey, I can help you anywhere in anywhere in the world, really, if they happen to be going international. So if you're looking in Florida, if you're looking in, we have a, connection with directly with Florida. Say nothing about, obviously we have other ERA agents on the other coast and, all throughout the state. So really any state, we can help them with. So, and then they come back. So, you open up that referral network, get on websites that are referrals. So there's referralexchange.com. There's just a ton of websites. If you Google, list, I want to sell my house or something, there's just a ton of websites you can join that'll just, give you potential referrals, but, just realizing that our referral base in ERA in general, is just unbelievable. Join the Facebook groups for ERA, join any league, Jared James, any of the coaches, they have Facebook groups, join all them groups, so that you can, just be there if someone says, hey, I'm looking for an agent in Columbus, that type of thing, and you can throw your name out. So again, just options, but don't be afraid to ask for referrals. So it can be, obviously it can be huge for us. So my next one, investors in LLCs. So, so I have a way that, and I'm sure you guys do, I'm in New York. But I have a way that I search for, companies or investors that own homes. So I'll actually do a search in, either RPR or, my local MLS it's called Realist. I can go to the county records and search LLCs and just sort of create a database of folks that, that are, I mean, obviously that kind of opens it up to buyers or sellers. So, I mean, we're talking sellers, but, if I can hook up with an investor or an LLC that is, buying properties or owns properties, obviously my first thing is, hey, I'm here to help you, buy, or if you're looking to sell one and buy another one, so just, they're just natural. They just want good deals and stuff. So they're always looking for someone to help them. So just kind of wanted to throw that out there as a way for you to do a little homework and build a database of, of the folks that have the LLCs or investors in your market that are just almost constantly buying or selling. So I think the last one I have is BDX. So if you've never heard of BDX, it's actually a builder's website that we have. So ERA has a partnership with BDX, where if you have if you're working with a builder or can develop a relationship with a builder, BDX is a site, a platform that, in reality, you could take, let's say you have a land listing or a lot listing, and you put it on and go, hey, build your dream home. My favorite thing with BDX is that if your builder kind of joins the platform, you can build a 3D model of a home and actually have it become part of the listing, and then list the lot and the potential house for 500,000 instead of the lot for 60, something like that. So, and it's customizable. Somebody can go in there and design their house. They can go, hey, I want to move this wall. Hey, I want to put a fireplace in here. I want to, so just ways to, develop relationship with a builder, and then obviously get listings out of it. Anytime you were to see a land listing, you could go after it and go, hey, how about we, list it as vacant land, but also list a potential, home on it. Let's put a $400,000 home on it and list it for 500 instead of, just the lot itself. So it can be very attractive to builders. Obviously, it's very attractive to a seller or a buyer or someone that's looking to potentially build. To see a house instead of just like, well, geez, me build, like what on earth? So again, just kind of wanted to throw that out there. You can find BDX and Leverage, or if you just go to New Home Source, so NEW, newhomesource.com. That's kind of the website that you can share once if you were to join or have listings, but it's a nationwide builders network. So even if I'm looking to build in Florida, it's my time to go down there. It's nationwide. So let me move. So that's everything. Again, I love the interaction and appreciate you guys, adding to this, but that was kind of just my list of everywhere. But now I'm going to just stop and let you guys please unmute yourself, throw something in chat, share, share. Hey, Greg, BDX. You know what? Let me revisit that with my lady. So we have a lady with Realogy that emails me and sends me stuff. So let me just kind of figure out the process for our agents getting access. So I'll do that and then email everyone. So I'm going to pause now and just kind of let you guys, if you throw anything in chat, or if you just want to unmute yourself in chat. So, hey, John.
Let's see. I've got a board here kind of for our office. A couple of things that I think a lot of us can take advantage of in our network that we're not taking advantage of is meeting up with people in our sphere who can be connectors or strategic alliance partners, like for sure loan officers, attorneys. You should be going to a lunch with an attorney once a month, specifically estate attorneys or divorce attorneys. Those two should be at the top of the food chain with Relo. elderly facilities, HR people within elderly facilities. So you should be stopping at those facilities and meeting the people that are welcoming people, trying to get your business card in front of them. I mean, we have the New England Club. Where are we not going in there and having something in the New England Club? Something that I've started to play around with a little bit more, and I'm seeing some traction, is Nextdoor. I don't see a whole lot of agents on Nextdoor, but just search house for sale. And I think a lot of our buyers are going on a Nextdoor. And so you're going to see a bunch of sellers posting or replying to posts. Yeah, I'm thinking about selling. Give me a call. The others over there.
Yeah. While you're thinking there, that, for anybody that isn't familiar with like something like Nextdoor, it's really just a social network. It's neighborhood driven. So, you can join Nextdoor and go, hey, I live in Anderson. So you join the Anderson Nextdoor network. Kind of throwing it out similar to that, John, is like, join the Facebook groups for Anderson yard sales, or, I don't know. There's so many groups and pages on Facebook that you can like or things, because then people are just posting things like John said, like, who would have thought that someone would go to Facebook or Nextdoor and go, I'm thinking of selling, like who would think that? But again, just joining as many groups. It's not like I don't live on the site, you have little notifications set up. So if somebody gets on there, it's not like I have no interest in living on these sites just to try to get a listing, but it's just avenues of potentially getting listings. So that's the thought. All right. Appreciate that, Anderson Group, giving us a bunch of awesome ideas there. But yeah, I mean, seriously, the loan officers, the attorneys, I can't always expect, unless I have a close relationship, for them to be like, I'm their go-to guy. But, man, throwing my hat in the ring to, so if they offer, somebody a couple agents to call, that's awesome. So I love the idea of connecting and truly connecting with, with the, loan officers and attorneys and home inspectors and, all those folks. So. All right. Anybody else have anything that they want to add or chat about? Any thoughts, anything working, on your end? Please unmute yourself. Hopefully this was, helpful for you guys. I love the interaction. Like I said, there's not necessarily a smoking gun here that we have, but certainly, a page full of ideas to start and play around with and see what works for you. So I guess we're done. I'll give anybody just a minute or so to throw anything out. Anybody else have anything they want to add? All right. So, well, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna do some homework. I'm gonna email if anybody asks for anything. So I'll email some listing to leads information and BDX information. Talk to some folks and maybe create a process for expireds and listings that we can maybe adapt to for us. So. But we'll definitely be in touch. Please let me know directly if you have anything. If you didn't think of it or type it or think of something, you can reach out to me directly with, any questions on what we talked about today. So thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll talk to you soon.